right.
Freeform jazz session, take one.
I was going to say.
Welcome back to Beards and Brews, everybody. This week's review is going to be Scott Pilgrim versus the World from 2010.
I fucking love this movie, guys. I fucking love it. From the very beginning, you know what you're getting into. You've got the Universal logo comes in, pixelized. You have the 8-bit audio. You know this
I love it.
Yeah. They're going full-on video game, old school video game with this, and it's just delightful.
So this may or may not start with that 8-bit Universal thing.
That was so fun. There's so many little bits and pieces of this movie that
At least 8.
I love.
Yeah.
Hey-oh. That I love.
I absolutely agree. I am a huge fan of Edgar Wright. This is the movie that he made between Cornetto films, so this is between Hot Fuzz and The World's End. And this movie reeks of his writing and his cinematography and his direction. It's a lot of fun.
And it was such a box office bomb.
You mean a box office bomb?
But I fucking love it, man. Every time I watch this movie, I love it a little bit more, and that's why it was on our list.
I can see that. Yeah, this is definitely a Chandler movie, but I liked it a lot too. The thing is, I feel like this is one of the best comic book inspired movies. Like, you know, a movie that almost tries to tell this perspective of a comic book verbatim.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Tank Girl's fucking annoying. Fuck that movie. This is a lot better.
Yeah, the jump cuts here are a lot of fun. The transitions of them just being in one shot, literally walking into the next set, is super fucking cool. The film's visuals carry it for me.
There's so many cute little labels and animations. It's really built in the style of a video game, but really to look like a comic book.
But the thing is, what makes it like maybe like a cherry on top is that it carries that really good wit and humor that kind of comes from the comic book. It's really hard to capture anywhere else. But with all like the slam cuts and changes in scenery and everything, it works almost perfectly.
Yeah, a lot of the time when you see like a jump cut or something, it's like you're turning the page.
Yeah. And once more, hand off to Edgar Wright, the director. Little applause there. I mean, I don't think anybody else could have done this well of a job with the source material. It's almost like how he developed as a filmmaker was perfect for this content.
I agree with that.
So getting right to Michael Cera's face. Ugh.
No love for our Canadian boy.
Man, I want to compare this to like a video game that I've played, since you know this is video game referencing and such. Final Fantasy X. You play as the main character. His name is Tidus. I fucking hate Tidus. I hate him.
Does.
The game was great, and then once you get enough characters, you can just take Tidus out of the party. But I couldn't take Michael Cera out of the goddamn movie.
To be fair, Scott Pilgrim is kind of garbage. Like, as a person, he's kind of garbage.
Yeah, they make light of that later on in the movie.
Yeah, through the whole thing, it's just constantly prodded at how shitty of a person he is.
Yeah. Which I think is great, because he's like, hey, man, why is everybody an asshole? And everybody's just like, aren't you an asshole?
Yeah.
I was so confused why these beautiful women are attracted to this guy.
Well, I mean, usually women who just dye their hair all the time are pretty boring, so...
Well, he was definitely not interesting. He was, to me, in this film, he was my least favorite part. I love the supporting cast. I love all the little side gags. If Michael Cera had one moment in the film for me, and we'll get to that later.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
But on top of that, personally, I think this is one of his better pictures that he's made. Not a fan of Juno that much.
Superbad was pretty okay.
Oh yeah, Superbad. Okay, Superbad was good. That's when we were like introduced to him.
Honestly, there's another one, like Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. I've got a soft spot for it, but we won't go into that.
Do I remember watching that? Oh no, it was that Seth Rogen movie where they make a porno. That's what that is.
That's not the same thing at all.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the plot a little bit. The only plot point that we need to start out with is Scott Pilgrim's dating a high schooler. He's a 22-year-old guy. He's Michael Cera. and he's dating 17-year-old Knives Chow, a very cute but very high school Chinese girl.
They almost held hands.
Dude, they are like so semi-racist in the opening scene with her. And it's fucking funny.
They pull that out like a couple times during the movie. I think at one point she's mentioned as like, hold on, Kung Pao chicken, or something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. And
I was like, yikes.
Every time they did it, I know that it's supposed to be like taboo, oh no, racism, whatever. This shit's funny. They got good jokes, and you go, huh, that's something you would say to a buddy of yours that's of a different race. You know?
All right, so in the context of this, we're then just sort of one after the other introduced to a couple of the other main characters, many of them in Scott's band. You've got Steven Stills, the talent. You've got young Neil, who is not actually in the band, but he plays Zelda and Tetris and whatever, we find out.
And I'm pretty sure that's the guy from Almost Famous, isn't it?
No.
It's not it? Okay.
No. And then we have Kim Pine, who evidently dated Scott in high school, and she probably hasn't gotten over it because she's just always scowling at him.
I thought you were going to say she probably hasn't gotten over it because it hasn't looked like she's brushed her hair in years.
Oh, leave the girl alone. She's a drummer. She doesn't care.
She sells so many scenes by just being in the background, brooding.
And just scowling at him.
And, like, pretending to blow her head off and stuff.
Yeah. That's where you're introduced to, all right, they're in a band. They are Sex Bomb, which is a cool little Mario reference. Anybody?
Bum, 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 yeah, the little babong fellas. You gotta step on them, and then you got like a couple seconds just to toss them.
I feel like this movie and also the source material handle pop culture and video games in a really fun way, where like the references aren't ham-fisted. Fuck you, Ready Player One. I mean, if it makes it feel like a lot of fun.
My next line, Eric, was, "This is like what Ready Player One should have been with the nostalgia shoutouts."
There you go. I'm glad we're on the same page. Fuck Ready Player One.
And I didn't see Ready Player One at all.
Now, in Ready Player One's defense, they have some really fucking cool visuals of, you know, some of your favorite characters from that era. But other than that, they're just there to be seen.
Yeah, they're just there. That's it. It's just that whole movie. You know what? We're talking about Scott Pilgrim, guys. It's a good movie.
Back to Scott Pilgrim.
But then you have a real quick cut scene where you're going to meet Scott's gay roommate, Kieran Culkin. I don't remember what his actual name in the movie is. Wallace. It's Kieran Culkin.
Not like, Home Alone.
Yeah, it's Macaulay Culkin's brother, who then berates him about dating a high schooler. He calls Scott's sister, Anna Kendrick, who also berates him about dating a high schooler. Everybody's just giving him shit about dating a high schooler.
Yeah, all the women in his life are just giving him shit at the moment.
You also get your first taste of a reoccurring theme of Wallace being a gossip whore with his phone. He's like, Wallace, don't do it. He's like, I'm not doing anything, and the phone's just already in his hand texting.
Which is like another comic book trope that would never work in another director's hands or anything like that.
Yeah, things just appear and disappear all the time. Like,
it's played perfectly for laugh. It's good.
Oh yeah, like the beautiful reference. You know, a big deal was in Pearl Harbor whenever Ben Affleck's wearing a scarf, and in the next scene it's gone. They have a lot of that used properly. Like whenever they talk about Michael Cera's hair, he'll have no hat, and then they'll say something about his hair, boom, and then there's a hat on his head.
Oh yeah. Well, like Chandler mentioned briefly, it's like that's contextual, whereas Michael Bay in Pearl Harbor, that was just a big fucking mess of continuity and
I know
historical inaccuracies. Also, fuck Michael Bay. It's just gonna be that show.
Hey,
we're just gonna have a shit list.
I don't know if you can say fuck Michael Bay because we might get Hillary Clinton. We might be on suicide and then still kill ourselves.
I love that. There's a meme going around where it's like the guards were like, I thought Suicide Watch was just watch him commit suicide.
So the next scene that we have is Scott and Knives going out on a little day date. You know, they're going out to the arcade playing like a fighting game that sort of looks like DDR or whatever.
Yeah. I wrote it down as Punch Punch Revolution.
Oh, that's good. And you hear Scott give a little lesson about the history of Pac-Man. Did you know that it was originally supposed to be called Puck-Man, but that whole thing.
But
It's
they
a boring
changed it.
story. He's boring.
Yeah, it was such a small talk moment, and it just made me just internally gag. Ugh.
Yeah,
Who cares?
fucking want to punt kick Michael Cera every time he's talking. I'm like, shut the fuck up, Michael Cera. Shut the fuck up. Like, give me some more of these cute little nostalgia moments. Ugh.
They take a trip to the music store where we meet Aubrey Plaza's character, Julie, who is just a bitch through the whole thing. Like, intentionally a bitch.
This
That's
character is
She's
a
just-
lot of fun.
Yeah, but she's just Aubrey Plaza. I mean,
That's
there's
true,
no
like-
character.
That's April Ludgate, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What she does is her side job.
She has a million side jobs. If there's a place you can work, she is there, working.
Knives asks her, do you have any of, her favorite band is the Clash at Demon Head. Do you have any of that? And Scott's just like, we gotta go. You shouldn't listen to that. Foreshadowing.
But we should point out that's because, like, Michael Cera's a she. We should point out that's because he had dated, like, the lead singer or whatever, and that's kind of like how this whole thing kind of tumbled into place.
Yeah, in the story, pretty much everybody dates everybody at some point.
Bunch of fucking orgierific folks going on. Swingers, by God, swingers. All
Stop
of them.
kink shaming.
Toronto. It's all about the views from the 6.
It's all very friendly. Like, Scott is not at all trying to get intimate or anything at all with Knives. He very much keeps his distance, doesn't even try and kiss her. It's really awkward.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I think it's because his entire friend group just shamed him immediately. He's just kind of like, okay.
I think it's because, like they said, he's in a mourning period still, and she's a place filler. He doesn't have any intentions with her at all. She's just there to take up some time.
Yeah, and every time, a friend meets her in person, they're like, get away from him. Just get away. He's no good. Get away.
He walks her to his apartment, and he's like, no, you can't come in. No girls allowed.
Sorry, rebound chick. Gotta go.
You gotta bounce.
Dang.
So once he gets home, he's got this vision. I don't know if he's having a dream or whatever, but he has a vision. A messenger bag rollerblading through the desert.
Meanwhile, back at the library.
Goes to the library with his 17-year-old girlfriend, and she's fucking there. The girl from his vision, girl from his dream is there.
Yeah, she's not fucking there. Like, she's just there.
Yeah, she's there, like, I don't know, turning in some books or something.
With her Jinko jeans and rollerblades.
Yeah, what's up like those bell-bottom jeans?
I think they were mud jeans. No,
I'm not
crickets?
gonna
All right.
disagree. I don't know. You lost me.
After this little quick cut to the library, there's a quick cut to band practice, and then there's a quick cut to everybody's going to this party. There's a big party. They run into this hipster guy that everybody knows. I forget his name, but he's just like the recurring, like, ultra hipster guy that makes ultra hipster little quips here and there.
And we're just going to call him Meta Hipster because he unintentionally breaks the fourth wall a couple times in the movie where he's just like talking in the background about how this is a comic book movie.
Yeah, I love it. And I don't know if it was intentional. I don't know the name of the song that's playing. But to me, it sounds exactly like the tune to Cinnamon Girl by Neil Young.
Don't you mean Young Neil?
Exactly. Young Neil.
This party was for alts only. Alts only party. So then he goes over and he finds, the chick, like by, roaming through the party.
Yeah,
and
he
it's,
just pokes his head through the whole way.
There's a
What's
scene
great
though, when he creeps up next to her. He's wearing a white shirt that almost matches his skin color, and it's got a like red collar on it. I thought he was wearing a choker.
That's when you gotta like adjust your white balance on your TV. Oh, it's fashion.
And he tries to get in with her, tries to awkwardly talk to her, and it goes terribly. He starts talking her with the whole Pac-Man spiel, and it's just
He's like-
uncomfortable.
He's too nervous with it, and he's fucking it all up.
Which is kind of weird because I think this is the only time in the whole movie where he actually showed nerves. Otherwise, he's just like, "Hey, go out with me," you know.
Yeah.
And also, he's a murderer.
Dude, I have homicide written in here later on. Dude is fucking just killing people.
Once she decides, yeah, you should probably go away, he just stalks her around for the rest of the party in a really creepy way and asks everyone about her.
Dude, the stalking scene. Alright, so I said there was only one scene that I liked with him in it. I'm wrong. There were two. The stalking scene is definitely one of them. It's fucking short, quick cuts, but he's always somewhere with her in the background, like pinned against somebody.
Yeah.
Like they would in a cartoon. Like he's in the outline of like a cactus standing behind a cactus looking at it. The shit is funny.
I wrote that down as Spidey Pilgrim because he's just like sticking to walls like Spider-Man.
Yeah, stalking. It was a good bit.
But we do find a few things about her. We find out that she's American, she works at Amazon, and she might have mentioned a guy named Gideon. That's more foreshadowing.
First of all, there's no fucking way she works at Amazon. I've never seen an Amazon employee personally deliver their fucking stuff to my house.
Maybe things work differently in Montreal or Toronto or wherever.
Just ding dong, it's just Drake with a package. Oh no, it's his package.
No. Only if you're fucking Millie Bobby Brown.
Ooh, that's weird. I'm gonna cut all this.
I don't know, I think that's a good one.
So he's stalking her up the joint until she leaves, and he's like, great, she works at Amazon, so she's great with packages, whatever. Joke.
Who's the chick with the glasses that he's talking to? Like right after the stalking scene or whatever?
Aubrey Plaza?
Jenna Hayes?
It's one of them. I don't remember which one it is, but she's the mom from the new Child's Play. Like when I saw her, I went, hey, I know her.
Yeah, Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, that's Aubrey Plaza.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you... Never mind.
Yeah, it's just April Ludgate with glasses.
So, after the party, he goes home, starts talking to Wallace. He says, Wallace, this is the girl of my dreams. And Wallace says, then you should break up with your fake high school girlfriend. Which is pretty much what fucking everybody has been telling him.
And this is our second little thing of Wallace having the phone magically in his hand. He has already sent this text while he was drunk and passed out. Scott watches him pass out. His phone immediately rings, and then he looks back at Wallace, and Wallace's phone is in his hand. He had texted sometime during that.
I mean, I love his character. It's so great.
So he gets this idea in his head. He's got to talk to her. He's got to buy something from Amazon. So he logs onto his computer. Oh, he's got mail. He's got a letter from somebody who's gonna fight evil, blah, blah. It's boring. Whatever.
Something to the death, something. Don't worry about it.
Right. But he's got to order something from Amazon. Got to order the coolest thing. I don't even know what it is, but it's got to be cool.
I don't know, something worth waiting at the door for.
Yeah. But from then on, he's just super distant and avoidant with knives, and he thinks about ending it, and he really doesn't because he's kind of a dick.
Yes. He also gets an attack hug. And straight up, Knives is kind of cool. Like, she's like, you know, the girlfriend that you would kind of want. She wants to play video games. She wants to hang out. She looks to you as, you know, better than you are for sure.
Are you saying you'd want a 17-year-old girlfriend? I think that's what you just said.
No, I'm way older. But, you know, if I was in his shoes, maybe. I'd keep it, you know, a little bit quiet.
All right, yeah. Give her some of that Kung Pao.
I wouldn't pee on her like he references later. Hashtag R. Kelly.
That's probably the police.
Uh-oh.
Nobody's vegan here, right? Okay, never mind. That's for later.
Scott goes to take a piss, and he gets a little pee bar. And I don't know why, but the little pee bar pops up, and I went, really? It didn't amuse me. There's a lot of these little throwaway gags that I really enjoyed, and this one just seemed, I don't know, out of place.
Oh, I love it. I think it's real cute. But this scene does have the most realistic view of washing hands after using the restroom for a guy.
Just
like you take a pee, you just maybe 1 second of running your hands underwater, just barely touching 2 towels, and you're done. Wiping the rest on your shirt and then leaving.
I mean, bacteria be damned. I mean,
Is
that's how
that
it
just
works.
me? Is that just me?
Yeah. Whenever he gets the package, she hands it to him. He gives some back and forth banter that just, to me, again, because it's Michael Cera, I'm fucking hating it. He just seems so pathetic and desperate, and it puts me off. I don't know why. I was just like, fucking shut up, Michael Cera, get off the screen. I want more throwaway gags.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, it is desperate. It is awful. Like, he's just really awkward and uncomfortable, but he reminds me a lot of myself, and that's endearing. Wow, big crickets. Okay.
I mean, that was like a moment for you. I can't really be like, you know what? I relate. I don't like Scott Pilgrim. I want to kick him in the fucking teeth. I like you though.
Yeah, there's a big difference. Like maybe we didn't. Well, I mean, Chandler might have like known you like when you were like a post high schooler, like in that age or whatever. But like, I just can't equate it for some reason.
I'm just fucking awkward when it comes to women. Okay.
I'm gonna cut that. Just gonna say I'm fucking women.
Okay.
He finally convinces Ramona, hang out with me. Like, you can go away if you agree to hang out with me, pretty much.
Yeah, and he has to sign the package. And the second he signs, she hands him the package. He fucking immediately chucks it over his shoulder and it goes right in the trash because he didn't give a shit about
I'm still curious what it is.
Yeah, they never show you what he ordered, but I do remember reading that they made like 60 cuts of this, and it took them like 60 fucking times to make that in the garbage can.
Jesus Christ.
I might be making up that number, but it took a lot of times.
But see, to me, this is where the film really shines, in these little cuts, these little gags like this. I love these bits, and this movie is full of them.
Once more, fucking hand it to Edgar Wright, just packing all this fucking, all these little isms, all these little bits into every little scene, just taking the care and consideration just to do it absolutely right.
Yeah, even if there's not like a scene happening that's, you know, driving the story or something, there's something going on to get your attention and make you go, huh, look at that.
You know what? I agree. This movie could have been super fucking annoying, but it's not. So, congrats.
So they end up hanging out. They talk a little bit. He asks about Gideon. She says, he's a friend. All right. We'll see. They walk around in the snow or whatever. And, like, okay, here's where I'm going to talk about Ramona. You guys ready to talk about Ramona?
Like which version? Like pink, purple, blue?
The OG.
Gotcha.
All right. She is absolutely, by definition, the quintessential manic pixie dream girl. Right? All right. She is, first of all, she's gorgeous. Perfect, but she's so fucking, like, there's nothing to her character. Like, she is a dream girl for a reason. There is nothing substantial to her. She has no personality. She's just a visual pixie.
You took the words right out of my mouth, because this entire movie, I'm like, he's lusting over her? She's a piece of drywall with pink hair.
Oh, no, I get it. I get it. There's nothing to it, but I get it.
I mean, it could have been like coincidentally, he like walked down the road and saw a rock that looked like a titty and fell in love with that. It's like the same fucking thing.
Yeah, he's super obsessed with this girl. You know, again, she's 17, pedophile. He has this girl who, you know, from the beginning of the movie, they show you how interesting and actually how much they have in common with these two. You know what I mean? And then, boom. Oh my god, I love this girl. What does she do? Nothing. What makes her so special? She's hot?
High question mark.
Yeah, and then...
Maybe an upside down one.
That was it. I mean, when she took her clothes off and was in her undies, I looked. I was like, oh, what's this? And then she's like, I'm not having sex with you, Scott Pilgrim. I was like, well, I'm not interested in this scene anymore.
You just clicked it off immediately.
Yeah.
You had to go drain your pee bar.
I think she just really appeals to a very niche crowd of sort of like semi-hipster guys in the mid-2000s. And I fall into that niche.
Oh, I thought it was because, like, she's just like one of those broke girls. You know, and he's just totally into that.
Like one of the two broke girls.
Hey,
I'm not into either one of them.
I'm pretty sure he's the reason why one's broke, and the other one just kind of like the plot.
By
She
the
is
way,
here
if we're
to move.
referring to the TV show, I don't know why either one of them are broke, so I have no context for this. The show's awful.
What show?
They have nice legs, though.
What?
The two broke girls,
Uh-huh.
they have nice legs.
Oh, yeah, one in the other titty. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, you got it.
Yeah.
Wait,
Meanwhile, back in Toronto.
No.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they snuggle up. Ramona's like, I'm not having sex with you. And Scott's just like, all right, I deserve these blue balls.
I mean, that's what he's into.
But
He's
hey,
a snuggler.
come to our show. We just found out we've got a show. It's at the Toronto Battle of the Bands. Please come. We're terrible. Please come. She came.
She could have came a lot earlier if she just moved things along that night. Just saying.
Are you sure? It's Michael
but-
Cera.
Well, think about this though. He's got magic powers. This motherfucker like is going to be murdering and doing jump kicks and using superpowers. I'm pretty sure he's got some level up for his dick.
Worst comes to it, he's Canadian. He'll be sorry.
Oh, sorry. So they've got this show, and she actually ends up showing up to the show. She comes. So did Knives. It's real awkward. The whole scene's real awkward.
Yeah, my note says #busted.
Yeah.
Or
don't
is
know.
he?
I don't know why he would invite her to a show that he knows that his girlfriend is coming to, but all right.
Well, because next time he wanted to get the 3.5 base. That's why.
Heyo. And then they got like the band they get to play, and the visuals during the performance, not the performance itself. The music to me is appalling. I'm like, ugh.
Really?
But-
I'm into it.
Well, but you're into those like little indie rock bands that grunge-ish,
Like
rocky
garage
sound.
rock.
Yeah. I don't care for that. But the way that they displayed like the sound coming off the drums, when they're hitting the D chord, it's just literally like a big D, like shooting out.
Giving her the D.
That's so cool. I thought those were very neat little, as Eric puts it, isms, like these little things that get me to keep watching, even though I want to punt kick Michael Cera.
And I also noticed that they don't play. Hang on. I also noticed that the songs for like their little band in the movie aren't very long, so it's really nice that it doesn't quite overstay its welcome. So it's always just freshly paced, just to keep things going.
Yeah.
And if you all didn't know, all of the songs from their band, whose name I can't remember, Sex Bomb, actually performed by Beck in this. Those are all Beck.
Which is exactly why none of that will be in the background right now. Thank you, copyright.
Hell yeah!
Not gonna get a speck of Beck.
Dang. What the heck? Say no to Beck.
Yeah, the first
Oh.
band that plays is called Crash and the Boys. We've got their first hit single, I Am So Sad, So Very, Very Sad, which is honestly my jam. I don't know about you. I was into it.
It was a whole of 2 seconds. He's like, I'm sad, gonna die, it's done.
Sorry.
Yeah, if you're into the extended radio cut, 2 seconds.
The extended video cut.
Nice.
So then, boom, the ceiling explodes. And this is where the movie gets to shine. This,
Hell yeah.
every time there is a fight scene in this movie, it is quick, it is fun, it's well choreographed, it's filmed very interesting from like different angles that you wouldn't normally see.
It's very flashy but very clean. Super entertaining.
Yeah,
You know?
it's really neat, and you get to see Scott Pilgrim fighting what appears to be like a
Well, according to Ramona, he was the only not white night jock guy at the high school. So
yeah. This is where you get to see Scott Pilgrim versus this Indian fella from
He
India.
is Matthew Patel.
Yeah, Matthew Patel. He's screaming. He's announcing who he is, and he just, to me, reminded me of the System of a Down dude dressed like he was going to college.
nice. I think out of all these boss battles, this is the most cringe. I just didn't like his character that much. Like, I love like the action and all that, but I don't like the character. He's just funky.
I enjoyed it until he started magic.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
it's supposed
right
to be a
there.
little bit cringy, because like even Ramona, when she's like, yeah, I dated him in like 7th grade.
He definitely had like a really good line. And he's like, what are you supposed to be, a pirate? And he's like, yeah, you a pirate? And he goes, pirates are in this year. This shit was pretty good. I got a chuckle out.
But yeah, I agree. The whole scene's really well choreographed. It's visually appealing. I like it a lot. Especially when you get to see his fireball and his demon hipster chicks.
Yeah, his Bollywood beatdown.
I'm sorry. That caught me off guard.
He shoots a fireball that, incinerates Crash and the boys. A fucking triple homicide right there. Boom.
Oh yeah, I noticed that, and everybody was just cool with it. Actually, you know what? There's a lot of murder in this movie, and it's all absolutely okay.
Eric, there is so much murder.
It's not murder. It's just game over.
It's murder.
I mean, as far as we know, there's only one kind of police force in this town, so who knows?
Scott Pilgrim gets the upper hand and knocks him out with a KO coin punch. And when he hits him, dude busts into money.
Which is like a toonie and some pocket change.
But it wasn't even enough for bus fare home.
Thank you for our Canadian money translator.
Not a problem. Blink.
It's something that really got me. We get treated to the Seinfeld theme. Him sliding in the door and, the canned laughter. Yeah. Again, I didn't care that it was Scott Pilgrim. It could have been any fucking character and I would have been laughing just as hard.
I have to disagree. It's probably like the most obtuse the movie is for me. Like, I got the joke, but it just like kept fucking going. I'm like, I get it. Okay, Kramer, I get it.
I agree with both of you.
What?
You running on the independent docket?
Ramona explains, like, if we're going to continue dating, you've got to defeat my 7 evil exes. Matthew Patel was one of them. You've got 6 more. And that's what this movie's about. Like, if we could start it right now, everything before that was precursor. You got to defeat the 7 evil exes.
So this cardboard cutout of a, emo porn star wants him to commit 7 murders.
Well, just 6 more.
To get them skins.
Dang. She needs some scalps.
You want to talk about somebody using somebody? This is worse than Hoagie using fucking Mrs. Brody. At least Hoagie was just trying to get the money. This motherfucker trying to get some deaths.
We don't know what Hoagie's intentions were.
Look, you gotta get the kill count up, or you ain't getting it.
Those are rookie numbers. Gotta pump those numbers up.
Pump those numbers up. Start murdering.
And after this, like, he finally breaks up with Knives.
It's just a long, drug-out scene of him stringing her along for like 8 minutes before he's like, yeah, I don't want to break up.
Yeah, Scott finally breaks up with her after really awkwardly, like, hanging out with her for a little while, and she's like, will you take me to the Clash at Demon Head concert? No, we should not do anything together ever again.
Yeah, but she's like, I love you, and the love comes out like the caterpillar smoke from Alice in Wonderland, and he waves that shit off, like, get that shit the fuck out of here.
That made me chuckle pretty hard.
Yeah, he was just like, love is coming at him, he's like choking on it, he's like, no, get this out here.
Just the fact that it just almost disgusted him, just like, nah.
Then after that, Scott's just like gloatingly happy. He's at band practice, and then like Ramona shows up and they leave and is like, what about practice? Well, Neil knows my parts, just go ahead. I'm a bassist, you don't really need that much.
Throws in the bass.
Yeah. But they have a date. Scott's gonna make her dinner or something. And he sort of kicks Wallace out of the apartment for this. But Wallace is gonna, I guess, stalk actor, skater, lead, whatever.
Captain Eyebrows.
Yeah, he sort of kicks Wallace out of the apartment for a little while. It doesn't really matter. Wallace was going to go stalk Captain America for a little bit anyway. So they have dinner and shit gets awkward. So they go to find Wallace, who's still stalking Captain America, Lucas Lee, actor, skater, whatever.
Well, even Wallace was like, hey, if you don't get it in an hour, come see me.
they stumble upon who just happens to be Ramona's second evil ex.
Captain Ameriskate.
Nice.
Like, whenever he walked onto the screen, I will say this. He commands attention. The man comes out, he's got his eyebrows up. It's like he's doing a mock-up of The Rock. And it's fun.
He's just... I mean, his eyebrows are so, like, anime. I couldn't get over it. He was just always just, like, brow.
Yeah. He gets out of his trailer, puts out a skateboard, rolls 10 feet onto set, lets the skateboard keep going, and goes, I'm ready. It's just fucking great.
But this is probably the shortest of the fights that we have here.
Yeah,
he's got a bunch of stunt doubles that Scott somehow just does away with. I don't know.
I would like to point out that each consecutive stunt double looks far, far away from what Chris Evans looks like. Like,
yes.
Each one looks less like him.
Less and less.
And then there's that one just, like, really short, chunky dude. That was great. That was a good one.
That was me, actually.
That's why Chandler likes the movie.
Yeah.
But he realizes that he can't beat Captain Skate. He's just too strong, so he outsmarts him by attacking his ego.
Can you do a thingy down that rail?
I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to make me do some, like, crazy stunt where I hurt myself. Girls are watching.
Alright, I'll do that.
Yeah.
So he does that. He bails. He dies. Explosions. 2,000 points for Captain Scott.
You got to tell her that, you got to use the L word.
Lesbian?
No, the other L word.
Lesbians.
There it is.
I love how sure he was with that second one. Got it.
But, alright, Ramona bails. She went somewhere. Nowhere to be known. But Scott gets a call from Envy Adams, his ex, who just happens to be the lead singer of The Clash at Demon Head, who is playing in town, played by the beautiful Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, actually.
Captain Marvel.
Yep.
So just so you know,
two captains in this movie.
Two captains in this movie.
If you don't count Captain Scott.
Yeah, you got two comic book fellas who go on later on to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I'm just trying to picture Michael Cera in the MCU.
He could be.
He could be the Black Panther.
It just gets worse.
Envy's actually a little bit jealous when she finds out that Scott's got a new girlfriend.
A bit envious.
Oh.
Way to put that one together, Chan Man.
That's what I'm here for.
So there's a knock on his door as he's going out to do these little errands to try to find Ramona. And as Wallace opens the door, the split second that he sees that it's knives.
And she's like, is Scott here? And crash. He just left.
And then he reaches back in and gets his hat. And then you see him, like the camera pans to her, and it shows him running around in the background, getting away from her. That were his two scenes where I actually appreciated Michael Cera. Now, I don't know if it has anything to do with, him as a character, or not him as a character. I don't know if it has anything to do with him as an actor, or just the way, the character's written in those scenes, but those two things, Michael Cera did right.
It's almost like the cinematic equivalent of like, oh, be back in a sec, and you just hear a door slam and a car screech away.
Yeah. Where you going? I'm going to go get cigarettes. Never seen again.
So he ends up wandering down to the old coffee shop where Julie, Aubrey Plaza, works, of course, her fucking fourth job or whatever. And Ramona happens to be there. And Envy is also there. I don't know, small town, I guess Toronto is.
Yeah,
she just likes to stand in front of her own poster, so.
Yes. I thought that was a good touch.
That's almost as good as those jokes of like someone standing next to a picture of themselves on the wall in the same exact place and pose.
Yeah. Because it pans by once during the conversation and you just see the poster for the band with her wearing the outfit. So it pans back to Michael Cera and then it pans back and he goes, oh! And it's suddenly her standing exactly in front of the poster, posed exactly the same way in the same clothing. It was a nice little touch.
And you see her there talking to Scott for a sec, getting jealous because he's with Ramona, and she's just like, we've got a show, you should come to it. You're on the list anyway, even if you don't want to come.
Look, all I'm saying is every time she said come, I was like, all right.
You should so totally come.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Is this $2.99 for the first minute? Fucking $3.99 for each additional minute there, Chandler?
Gosh.
Gosh.
Oh no. Now I gotta charge for this cast. Thanks.
But yeah, she basically is going to force him to come to the concert with him, and then his coffee's ready. And then every time that Julie says something to Michael Cera's character, she's cussing him, and she's like, "Hey, fucker, your coffee's ready." But instead of getting to say "Here the fucker," it's like a dial-up bleep. It's like
That doesn't translate well, but just watch the movie, you'll get it.
Yeah.
And that was Scott Pilgrim, everybody. No.
Watch the movie, you'll get it. That's the whole review.
Yeah. But then, like, Scott has, like, this meta moment where he's like, how are you doing it with your mouth?
Envy has asked Sex Bomb to open for them at their show. Shit just gets even more awkward.
Scott Pilgrim wants nothing to do with it, but he's like, I guess I gotta take one for the team, man. And then one of the other members is like, we gotta get better. We need, like, that level of fame where we have stalkers. And it pans to the outside window with knives out there with their little hands
Oh, yeah.
staring in.
And she slinks away, and there's, like, a handprint just stuck there.
Yeah.
That's just a little bit after Knives is seeing Ramona with Scott, and she starts, like, freaking out and dyeing her hair and all of this stuff to try and maybe win Scott back. But yeah, shit gets awkward. They go and play the show, and they don't really have a great performance. But the Clash at Demon Head comes on, and okay, I don't know if you guys know anything about Metric, the band that this song is actually by, but this song, Black Sheep, is by a band called Metric. On the record, it's a pretty okay song. Here with Brie Larson actually on vocals, she fucking kills it. This is better than the original by far.
Well, she is quite the marvel, so...
Fuck.
But I agree with you here, Chandler. Whenever this song plays, it's the first time that the music, I was like, oh, what's this? It actually got the attention of my ear.
Yeah, I like this song quite a bit. Like, I listen to it just on my own.
Well, I'm gonna be the middle-of-the-road guy and say, oh, the music in this movie is just okay. Pointy finger.
After their little performance, there's a line that I just love. You've got everybody just lined up there, and young Neil's talking to Knives, and he's like, you should see them live. They're much better live. Just like all these little hipsterisms that are used so tongue-in-cheek and so mockingly.
That's what makes this movie, are these little bits that get tossed out there. And if you can pick them out, if you catch them, it really enhances the film.
After that, Julie tells everybody, hey, Envy wants you to come backstage, come hang out. And shit gets real awkward, as you would expect, because we find out that one of Ramona's exes was a guy named Todd, who was actually in the band and dating Envy Adams now. He's actually who Envy left Scott for. So you've got, it's just it's not even a love triangle. You've got a love pentagram here, a love pentagon, I don't know, with like Envy and Scott, Todd and Ramona and Knives there too, and fucking young Neil. You got everybody there, and it's just real awkward.
It's always awkward having a vegan in the room, to be honest.
Straight up.
Being vegan just makes you better than most people.
I'm pretty sure he's not getting the protein for those muscles being a vegan.
Dude was swole AF.
I've actually thought about putting together that for a Halloween costume. Just the Adidas white jersey with the black number 3 on it and bleach blonde hair.
You saw his number 3 shirt and you're just like, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, that's pretty simple.
People would think Stan from Slim Shady.
But at that moment, for whatever reason, Todd, the vegan, fucking punches the highlights out of Knives' hair. And at that moment, it is on.
Yeah, and that's where, again, this movie shines. Every time there's a fight scene, a quote-unquote boss battle, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
This was actually a base battle. You have the two on stage, and he's just flicking that D.
Yeah, this boss battle has like little stages to it because they get into like a little kerfuffle or whatever in the little room, but then he like stops them with his stupid superpowers. And he's like, okay, I gotta figure out something else that I can beat him at. And they go to like stage 2, base battle, but then he gets his ass kicked again, all the way back into like the refreshment area of the place.
I really enjoy the way he floats into the room, and it's got that very anime-esque feel to it, because as he's floating in, they've got all these clear Dixie cups laying on the ground. And right where he is, as he's floating in, the Dixie cups disperse around him because he's emitting all this energy. I thought that was really cool.
It's all about the details.
But again, the Evil X this time, Evil X number 3, he's got vegan powers, so he's got to figure out a way to outsmart this super powerful vegan X.
Well, the guy's got his telepathy, so he's like in his head, he's like, I know that you put fucking dairy creamer in this, you're trying to make me lose my vegan powers.
And he wasn't wrong.
He's like, I'll take the one with whatever. Takes a big swig. Then fucking Frank Castle breaks down the fucking wall right beside him with his laser fucking finger.
It's the vegan police.
God damn it.
Clifton Collins Jr. come in as the vegan police.
Goddamn Frank Castle.
My favorite fucking... Like, this is what I'm talking about, the supporting cast, these little bits are what fucking make this. When these two come busting through the wall, they're like, freeze! They fucking got their fingers, literal finger guns pointing at him with little green lasers. It's legit.
And I love that it's like, I thought it was like 3 strikes and you're out. It's like, in November, you ate a gelato. Gelato's not vegan? And it's like
milk
something
and
in
eggs,
eggs.
He goes, milk and eggs, bitch.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Second one was something, he goes, and then on this day, you had chicken. He goes, oh, chicken's not vegan? He's like, nah, man. And then he's like, and now you did this. He's like, you can't. And then they just take his powers.
Oh, yeah, his hair deflates. That's great.
And then Scott just like headbutt KOs him into a bunch of coins.
It's not even a KO. The man murdered him with a headbutt. He is killing people. For whatever reason, though, they explode into money.
Because that's what happens in the Vigi games.
Well, no, I get that, but he's still killing people.
Yeah, even Brie Larson's like, hey, you popped my boyfriend.
Sorry.
Yep.
So, that's 3 Evil X's. We are almost halfway there. I think it's time to celebrate.
Dang, dude.
I'm popping up that bubbly.
What you celebrating with?
I've actually got something a little bit special today. I've got Stone's Woot Stout.
Woot!
Woot! This thing is, it's a stout brewed with pecans, wheat, and rye, quarter-aged in bourbon barrels. It's 11.5%, so it's pretty strong. It's actually, the recipe was created by none other than TV's Wil Wheaton.
Whoa.
I thought you were going to go with the whole Wil Wheaton.
Oh, I thought he did. There's a little bit of wisp in there. So I was like,
just a little bit. Wil Wheaton. But guys, this beer's delicious.
Yeah, you were talking about that the other day at work. You were very excited for this one.
Yeah, I'm super glad I got some. It's a pretty limited edition beer, so anytime I can get my hands on it, I try my best. But it's fucking good. It's really deep, rich, a little bit sweet, but not too sweet. It's not like a breakfast stout or anything like that. It's not a dessert stout. It's just a good, full-bodied, manly fucking stout.
Did you hear that, Wil Wheaton?
It's delightful.
Somebody called you manly.
I did not have a special limited edition beer. I had Shorts Brew Soft Parade, 7.5% alcohol by volume. It was a fruit ale with blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, and raspberries.
That doesn't sound manly at all.
No, if you go back on these podcasts, I'm a bitch when it comes to beer. I'm not a beer guy.
So tell us about this.
Again, I don't have this sophisticated palate. I can't give you like the big rundown. It tastes like if you took a beer, and it says it has all these different berries. I can only really taste raspberry. It's like if you took a beer and you put some coffee beans in it and then squished a raspberry and threw it in there. That's what the beer tastes like.
I mean, that sounds relevant to my interests. I'd drink that.
It was weird. I was like, it's not terrible, but it's not the best.
Very middle of the road. I respect it. Myself, I'm going with wine once more. I'm a wine kind of guy. I like the little pinky up stuff. Good old West Virginia fruit and berry added again. Luscious cherry blossom. Some good stuff.
So we missed a little piece that I really enjoyed. Well, we didn't really miss it, but we just kind of didn't discuss it. He's like, yeah, me and Knives, we broke up clean. And then as he's walking by, he waves at Knives. And then it cuts
She's like,
back.
no!
Like she's falling off a cliff. I thought that was an excellent touch.
And is this the same scene that they cut back to Kim and she's just scowling again?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's any time it cuts to her, so it doesn't matter.
That's true. All right. So after this, after Scott defeats the third Evil X, they go to the after party. Because after the party, you got to go to the after party. And Scott and Ramona talk about all of their past breakups. And at that moment, immediately after, we get a shot to Evil X number 4.
Yes, the Bi-Furious X.
With the football makeup.
Yeah, I don't get it. My wife is all about her. She's, I'd rather bang Scott. I don't know.
I don't know. Something about the thigh. Something.
I mean, if I could get a chick where all I had to do was touch the back of her knee and she fucking had an exploding orgasm, I'd be kind of into it.
No, she died.
Look, this is video game world. She left money on the bed. There's no evidence.
No, what
Does
Scott
that
did
make
to her
you
was
the
money.
prostitute?
She's dead.
I mean, it wouldn't be the worst way to go.
Anyway. So, next Scott has to fight Roxy. Evidently, Ramona had a little bit of a bi-curious phase.
Whenever she used the term phase, the Bi-Furious X becomes very agitated at that.
So we start out with a little bit of a girl fight, and everyone's just standing back watching, like one would. Ramona pulls out a warhammer from somewhere, like right out of her purse.
Yeah, it's like a
Starts
match
swinging
pocket
it.
purse.
I mean, why not? Just something that you keep in your inventory, just in case.
So that's why ladies' purses are so heavy.
Yeah.
Well,
I would
thanks.
expect that would cause her to be over encumbered.
I see where you're going with that, but it's more like Final Fantasy, where you can just hold everything, not so much Fallout.
Oh, okay.
She has plenty of room where she has no personality.
Ooh! Her fucking personality is just endless voids, so she can fit anything she wants in there.
But then we find out during the course of this girl fight that Scott has to defeat her. So Scott can't hit a girl because, I don't know, he's a good guy. So Ramona uses Scott's fist to fight, and Roxy's very noob Sabot. Did anybody notice that? She's like disappearing into black sort of dust and just reappearing in other places. She's jumping around.
Yeah,
Like-
Noob
like
Saibot was
Nightcrawler?
always my favorites.
Yeah.
But she does throw out just a line that just gives me a chuckle. Right as Roxy's about to, I guess, attempt to end Scott, your BF's about to get F'd in the B. It's real bad, but in a way that I love.
She's saying this while she's holding up her leg next to her head, about to deliver like an axe kick from hell.
Very Kung Pao style, just like straight up in the air.
Yeah.
But it turns out her weak point is the back of her knee, and Scott just tickles the back of her knee, and I guess she just nuts all the way out into exploding in coins or whatever. Is that what happens? I don't know. It sounds about right.
Explosive orgasm. Boom. Money, money, money.
The money
Like
shot.
Dang.
Here comes the money shot.
And also, everyone's cool about some lady just busting a nut on the floor, then busting into a bunch of coins.
And dying.
I mean, if a girl did that, I wouldn't see anything wrong with it. All right, that's cool. Now, somebody help me pick up this change.
Man, Chandler likes to party.
I'm just saying, hobos would be a real threat in this universe. You know, like, I need some change. Stab you. Boom! Fucking exploding in money. I mean, this is like a hobo's paradise.
We also noticed there aren't any homeless people in the streets.
Yeah, because they got to get them first.
Oh god. Scott Pilgrim versus the homeless.
Exactly. And then we get, a list of the other X's, and he's got to fight some twins next.
Twins, Basil. Twins.
This, to me, whenever they finally get there with the amp versus amp battle,
Oh, yeah.
I chuckle because I was like, oh man, he's fighting the fucking Steve Aoki twins. What's up? They weren't throwing cake. They had like musical dragons coming out their fucking turntables.
Yeah, this is a really visually awesome scene. You got Amp versus Amp, the Katanayagi twins, or whatever it is.
Steve Aoki.
Yeah, whatever it is. And just visually really awesome.
And this is also the first time we get to see Gideon, Mr. G.
Yeah, there's a quick zoom in on his face, and it's played by Jason Schwartzman, who I can't fucking stand. I fucking hate his face.
Jason Schwartzman, who you can't stand. I love
I don't know what it is, but every time I see him, I just want to put my thumbs in his eyeballs. He just has that fucking thumbs in the eyeballs face. I don't know what it is.
Is it the mole?
Mole, 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 mole.
Mo! Mo, 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 mo.
Just want to chop it off and make guacamole.
Mo.
Is it out of your system now?
Like, is it in every movie, or is it just in this movie? Because I'm a big fan.
Oh, I think it's just him, just as a person. Like, I don't know what it is. I just see him, I'm just like, I want to hurt this man. He's done nothing to me. He's probably a swell fella.
Swell fella.
Yeah, same thing with Michael Cera. I'm sure Michael Cera is a nice enough guy. It's just when I see him be. Well, we know you're not, Chandler.
No, I mean, I'm not sure that he is a nice enough guy. Michael Cera might very well be a douche, but I can relate to all the characters that he plays in films.
What, you knocked up a chick in high school? Did she have a hamburger phone?
Not that. I actually don't like Juno at all. I didn't like it.
Land. But yeah, there's a big showdown with the Steve Aoki twins and Sex Bomb. The music's loud, things are falling apart. Some CGI dragons are coming out. It looks very video game-ish. It kind of reminds you of Guitar Hero. There's even a moment where he stamps on the bass pedal. And
yeah. I gotta point out that he stamped on an overdrive pedal, so the whole thing just went into overdrive.
Ah.
Oh, okay. So it ends up just being a battle between two dragons and an ape, and the ape wins. It doesn't really have anything to do with anything Sex Bomb or Michael Cera, Scott Pilgrim does. Just the ape beats the dragons. I don't know. I don't understand it. Movie's got a movie, video game's got a video game. But Scott gets a one-up.
As long as there's murder, the movie will continue.
For real, as long as the body count is going up.
I mean, honestly, I don't even know what happened to the Katsunai twins. They just, did they explode into coins? They would have had to, right?
Like, the Tamagotchi twins, they fucking died, okay?
Okay. But the question is, did he get 11,000, 5,000, and 6,000 for both, or just like 6,000 for the two together?
Each.
Yeah.
I feel like he's getting gypped here.
Well, he got a free one-up, so...
Okay.
Well, he also got to use his team on that one.
I guess it was like a point multiplier.
Okay. That's fair then. Alright.
But then, Scott's like, yay, I'm winning, good stuff. He goes outside, green-haired fucking drywall's now like, I don't like you anymore. And she dumps him in the exact same fashion that he dumps Knives.
Absolutely. He says, I'm in lesbians with you, because she knows what that means. And Ramona is just like, we gotta break up. I'm with Gideon now. Fuck off.
And then Gideon's like, hey, I'm gonna sign you guys to a contract. Piero, as one of the bandmates pisses on himself.
But he quits the band. He's like, I'm not gonna sign that. It's like, you guys need a bassist. Then fucking young Neil pops up with the bass. I can do it. Quickly signs, or just scribbles without even looking at it.
So the next thing that we got Scott at home, real sad. He sings that sad Ramona song, and Wallace sort of kicks him out because he's got a date that he's trying to have some sex with. He gets a phone call from Gideon. He's opening up the Chaos Theater in Toronto, and his former band is playing. And he's like, it'd be real awkward if you didn't come. I think it would be real awkward if he did come, but why not? Why not have an invitation? So Scott comes down to the new Chaos Theater, level 7. This has got to be the last level, right? Level 7, Chaos Theater.
Lucky number.
Yeah. And as soon as you walk in, you get another one of those little hipster quips. You hear, I don't remember his name, the hipster from a couple scenes ago, the party. He's like talking to somebody. You hear, yeah, the first album is so much better than the first album.
Then, but is this, has he done the password bit?
Yeah, this is kind of where he comes through.
Okay.
Yeah, he's already inside, and that was meta hipster.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's at every party standing. He's always the first guy he runs into.
He knows everybody. That's why he's there.
So Scott comes in and he's ready to fight Gideon. Why? Because I'm in love with her. Scott earns the power of love, which comes with like a flaming sword, I guess.
Yep,
That's
a
the
flaming
power.
and he also gets his level up.
So Scott just runs through the place, killing all of his foot soldiers and
There we go.
patrols
See,
and whatever.
you said killing.
Yeah.
He murdered at least a dozen men right there.
People who had families. This was just a job.
Oh no.
So the murderer, Scott Pilgrim, goes up to fight Gideon. There's a little bit of a battle, a little bit of a sword fight between the two. And Knives shows up just out of fucking nowhere, ready to fight.
Sword fight used in like quotes because he did one lunge and his sword broke immediately.
Yeah, the power of love was not strong enough to stand up to the power of Gideon.
I was gonna say the power of love isn't strong enough to stand up against the power of the Schwartzman.
Ooh, I like that.
Also, fuck Jason Schwartzman.
Knives and Ramona, they get into like a little tussle, and then there's a moment of pause, like, hey, let's not do this. And Scott gets a literal backstab.
But going back a little bit, she wanted to fight Ramona because how dare you break the heart of the person who broke my heart?
Makes sense to me. Yeah. So, Gideon just straight up backstabs Scott. Game over. He dead.
He finally gets a taste of what it's like to be murdered.
But luckily he's got that extra life though, right?
Correct, sir. He's in the desert, and then they're like, hey, you got this extra life, and there's exposition, and there weren't any real jokes there, so I was not really paying a lot of attention.
Cactus was back. Never.
So Scott's got to go through this whole thing again, telling the passwords, whatever. Exactly like one would if you had an extra life or had to respawn in a video game. You've got to go through all this mindless stuff. All right, you got to kill the putty patrol. You see the meta hipster. He says, all right, you see the meta hipster. He throws out the quip, oh, the comic book is much better than the movie. Okay.
Nice. Can we just point out the fact that he murdered a man just by telling him his hair was bad? It was the first guy at the his first guy at the Chaos place.
Oh, okay.
Your hair's bad.
When you're leveled up that high, sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, he rolled a fucking nat 20 on intimidation. It's too much.
All right, so he comes in
and just comes.
Yeah. So Scott comes in, apologizes to his band, is like, sorry, I was a shit. Young Neil, you're a better bassist than me. That's the right move. I'm not going to fight you for Ramona. I'm going to fight you for me. Scott's earned the power of self-respect. And he gets like an electric purple sword this time, which might be a better sword. I don't know. I haven't looked at the stat.
Well, if it's phallic and purple, it's definitely a penetrator, so...
Yes. He easily
defeats the penetrator
Gideon this time.
Yeah, just straight up beats Gideon. That's the final boss battle, right?
Or is it?
Or is it?
So then it becomes like Ninja DDR because he has to team up with Knives, and they're using two-player mode activated. Yep. And they start doing like the DDR moves that they practice at the arcade a bunch to beat up Schwartzman.
Combo.
Yeah, there's really great choreography, great visual animation through this whole scene. I'm really into it. I like it a lot.
And for such like a string bean awkward dude, Michael Cera moves pretty well. Like, it's super smooth. It's nice.
Now, there were some obvious times when they would do like a top down and you could see this dude in like a bad wig. But other than that, Michael Cera's up there. He's doing most of his own little things, which, I give him credit for.
It's just that Napoleon Dynamite dude.
Oh, gosh. But they defeat Gideon again. And he has a line. And he says that he is mad that he had to spend 2 hours organizing these 7 X's to fight Scott Pilgrim. And he said that, and I went, holy shit, the movie's 2 hours. Oh, he's talking about, oh, it's a thing. And then I went, you know what, Gideon? Me and you got something in common, buddy. I am mad I have spent 2 hours watching Michael Cera.
Just goddamn it.
I feel responsible for that.
The movie's not bad, so you don't have to be responsible for anything. I just don't like Michael Cera. The movie has so many fun bits and nostalgia throwbacks that it's worth a watch if you don't mind Michael Cera.
So speaking of movies with people that one of us hates, which Jason Segel movie are we going to watch next?
Oh, jeez.
Where's the one where he shows his dick? Probably
That's Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and that movie is fantastic.
There we go.
All because of his dick.
Not all, but it helps.
Anyways, for my hatred of Jason Schwartzman, it was super pleasing to see his head get just kicked off by Scott Pilgrim in like a super over-the-top fashion. Not only does he explode into coins, but coins all over the fucking joint rain from the fucking sky. Like, he was worth more than $1.34.
He could definitely ride a couple of buses on that. No.
Next, he has to fight. I thought this shit was over. I was like, all right, cool, let's wrap it up. And so then he's got to fight another boss, Nega Scott. And
you're totally thinking like, oh man, this is going to be even more epic, a more crazy showdown. Everybody leaves to make space for him. 5 minutes later, they just leave like, yeah, man, see you later. Let's get some coffee next week.
Yeah, they just make buddies. We got a lot in common.
And everybody's just okay with just like an evil replica of somebody just like existing in the same world.
And wandering off to drink coffee.
Yeah, just whatever. See it, Tim's pal.
There's a moment later where, Ramona and Knives are there and he's trying to choose who he wants. He's like, Knives, I should be with you. And she's like, nah, I'll be alright. Go get your girl. So he runs off after her. But what we don't know, and what the movie doesn't tell you, is that she's secretly going to go after Nega Scott.
Oh.
Nah, she just likes those bad boys.
I think you just filled in a blank for me there.
There it is.
But no, honestly, like, if I could have changed anything about this movie, I would have had Scott leaving with Knives.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. She is the better character. She's interesting, as opposed to the girl from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind's movie cover, who just broods and walks off and, oh, look at me in my bra and panties in one scene. She's got nothing in this film, and he's still chasing her. The movie ends with him like, let's go through this door and start over.
Like, you're absolutely right, but I get it. I can't say I wouldn't do the same thing, because she's fucking sexy. Damn.
So basically, this entire movie should have been called Scott Pilgrim Pays the Pussy Tax.
If you want to cross the troll bridge, you gotta pay the troll toll.
If you want to get inside this boy's hole, or whatever it is, I don't know.
Yeah.
There he goes.
To wrap it up, gentlemen, it's not a perfect film for me. It's got amazingly fun visuals. These, really, really good supporting cast. These little background characters make it for me. Not Scott Pilgrim, not Ramona. The background characters. They sell it.
I agree. Very good picture. Very entertaining. Though the more I think about it, the more I kind of hate everybody in this movie.
The characters for the most part. The people, they're not good people.
No, not at all. I want to watch it again, just, see if I still like it. But I think out of all of Edgar Wright's movies, I would put this towards the bottom. He's done a lot better. Like, Hot Fuzz is a fucking masterpiece.
Hot Fuzz is incredible.
For me, I like this movie more every time I watch it. This just hits all the right notes for me. It's a movie done in a style of a video game, about a comic book, about a guy that plays music. It hits all of the right notes. and it was made in just the right time where like you've got that early to mid 2000s like hipster vibe going on. You've got all the indie heads, and you've got a whole lot of like the cast in this is incredible. You've got a whole lot of people that just went on to be amazing, iconic actors. You've got Captain America, Captain Marvel. You've got April Ludgate. You've got Jason Schwartzman in it, Michael Cera. I mean, you saw the credits list when you started watching, but it just hits all the right notes for me. I love it.
And that's that. That's Scott Pilgrim versus the World. If you guys have any opinions on the movie, be sure to leave a comment down below.
You can get on there and follow us on the Facebook, the Twitter.
Please hit that like and subscribe button on our YouTube. Tap that bell so you know when we have another one of these brewing. And we'll catch you next time.
Bye and stuff.